I love it. I love it. Yeah, I'm just super excited to get back there. I think I added the outfield and as a part of my development in the big leagues. Because I had Jose Abreu in Chicago, and he was an MVP type player, and I knew that if I wanted to play in the big leagues, I had to go out to the outfield and learn that. But first base is home for me, and so to get that opportunity to get back there and get comfortable there is exciting. It's been a great offseason working there again.
What have you worked on this offseason to build on some of the success that you found here last year?
Yeah, it's been great. I think it's one of the few off seasons I've had where I didn't go in and try to make a swing change or tinker too much. Just kind of building off of what I did last year, and so not having to have that whole reconstructing swings and all this stuff, and has been really nice in terms of just kind of my growth as a hitter. Can get a little bit more advanced, and so that's been huge this offseason. So excited to get out to spring and continue working with these guys and link up with Souza. We've been talking a bunch, and yeah, just excited for where I'm at right now.
Is it also helpful having now your second year with the organization? You're not learning new things like
Right.
you were last year.
Yeah, it's I love this staff. I love this group that's together right now, and it's the best communication I've ever seen in an off season in terms of just collectively talking to the infield guys, talking to Craig, talking to the hitting guys. I mean, I've never been at a place where the communication has been this intense throughout the off season, and it's just testament to the staff that we have and how much they care about us and our development, and makes that transition into spring really easy.
Last year you had to kind of hitch your way onto the opening day roster in spring training. Now Craig says you're getting the first shot at being the everyday first baseman. Just how different of an approach into spring training is that for you?
Yeah, I mean it's great. Obviously, I don't think it changes anything because I still want to prove that I can be the everyday first baseman and kind of keep that chip. Because I think as soon as you lose that chip, Manny's still got that chip, and he's as good as they get. So I think as soon as you lose that chip on your shoulder, you become complacent, and that's the worst thing you can do as an athlete. So for me, it's just keeping that, just proving that I can be an everyday first baseman, proving that's my home there, and yeah, but just keeping that same mentality. I think I had a lot of success because of that mentality I had last year, and so don't want to lose that for sure.
Your splits as a DH versus playing a position are fairly stark. You seem to hit the ball much more consistently when you're playing in the field somewhere. Is that something you've always been? Do you feel like you're more engaged in the game? You're actually going out and putting the glove on your hand too?
Yeah, I think you're definitely more engaged. Stay looser. You stay in the game a little bit more. You're not carrying each at bat with you as much. I think learning the DH is something I embraced last year and got better at as it went on. But being able to be in the game and just not changing the game in different ways, not just at bats. I think when you DH, you kind of get frustrated because you feel like you can only change the game when you're up to the plate. And so getting back to first and playing defense, I think left field, having opportunities to make plays in left field, and just feeling like you can change the game in more ways than one is huge.
AJ said he was going to ask you to even evolve more as a hitter this offseason. What does that entail for you?
Yeah, just getting more advanced. Building off of last year, building off now, just working counts differently, cutting down a little bit of the chase, giving what the pitchers gives me. Taking that, not trying to be all or nothing all the time, and but just growing off of last year, just becoming more advanced, and it's going back to what I was talking about with the swing, just being able to break into that stuff a little bit more and not just worrying about my swing, kind of looking at counts, looking at controlling the zone a little bit more, and I think that's a big part of this offseason.
What do you think it's going to be like to have a manager that's not that far removed from being in the clubhouse himself, and that connection he can kind of build with you guys?
Yeah, I'm excited. He's been awesome to work with, awesome to communicate with. I mean, just the feeling of we're all in this together has been awesome. I think he's got the staff just excited to work with him because everybody's, it's a very accountable staff. Everybody feels accountable to what they're doing. Everybody doesn't want to let each other down. We don't want to let, he's first-time manager, we don't want to let him down. He doesn't want to let us down, the staff, a lot of young guys and new guys. And I think everybody's just working together, which is really fun to see.
Anything else with that?
Guys back together. I think that's why I'm out here. I wanted to see the guys. I wanted to get around them. I wanted to get back in the cages with some of the staff and get with Jackson and these guys and Crony and just have some fun before the grind of the season. So this week was awesome.
And then when you land and the weather's like this.
Yeah, when I leave 15 inches of snow and come here, it's not too bad. So I was sending my wife some pictures of the sunset and sunrise, and asking her how the weather was in Baltimore right now, and she didn't appreciate that too much. But it's definitely good to be back in San Diego.
You're close with a bunch of your teammates, but how do you and Jackson specifically push each other?
Yeah, we're super close. Kind of like brothers. We like to egg on each other. We like to push each other. So it's fun to see his growth. I think he's in a really good spot. I'm expecting a really big year from him, which is exciting. I think that, I think last year he dealt with a lot between injuries and ups and downs, and I think that's part of your second year in the big leagues. And so to be there with him and talk things through him and just kind of push each other, friendly and competitively has been a lot of fun. So we've got a great relationship, and I expect some really big things from him this year.
When did you know that you guys clicked like that? How quickly did that relationship develop?
I think when I first got here and I knew he was from Baltimore, it started off, and then that kind of broke the ice, and then just being around him and seeing how advanced he is for a 22-year-old. It doesn't feel like he's 22, just the way he goes about his business, the way he works, and the way he competes and grinds. And so once I saw that, I knew right away that we would have fun together and push each other. And so we've been locker mates from spring to throughout the season, and just a lot of respect immediately when I came in and saw the way he went about his business. And I think that respect was formed day one. And then we started having some fun together and egg each other on, and so that definitely grew the relationship.
How's new dad?